Hello everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw! In this video, I'm going to be breaking down every single card in Crimson Blaze. I'm going to be talking about which ones seem really good, which ones are kind of bait, and what you should be chasing in this set. I'm going to try to make it a little quick, but I do want to dive into a few cards because there are some stellar ones in this set. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Bulbasaur to start us off. This is over on PokemonZone.com. Shout out to them. Bulbasaur, 1 energy to do 20 damage, 60 HP with a single retreat. Not too bad for Bulbasaur, a decent card, but an absolute star in this set is something like this. Ivysaur, 100 HP, stage 1, of course, 1 grass energy. 2 in the active spot, use this and generate 2 additional grass energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. Unbelievably powerful, and a reason that Mega Venusaur is looking pretty dang good in this set. I gotta say, I really like this card. Of course, it has a huge retreat cost, which means not only can it use something like Heavy Helmet, but once it gets in the active spot, it's probably staying there. Probably, because you're heading right into Mega Venusaur. We have base Venusaur in this set also that you could evolve into. I mean, you do 90 damage with Poisonous Whip, 160 HP. It's only a 1-point card, right? And the nice thing is you didn't have to spend too much energy to actually use this attack when you pair it with Ivysaur. This is decent. Mega Venusaur, however, looks pretty dang good. Of course, it is going to get one-shot by Charizard, but regardless of that, the Ivysaur combination actually makes this feel like a pretty dang good Mega. It's still all extremely early, and we've seen this card already, but I feel like Mega Venusaur is decently strong and not too difficult to power with a few of the nice grass cards in this set. We'll get into more of them later. Next, we have Spinarak, 1 energy for 20 damage, 50 HP. Then we have Ariados. This card is pretty cool. Its ability makes your opponent's active retreat cost 1 more, which combos in some really interesting ways, especially with something like Whimsicott. 1 energy for 30 damage isn't great, but it does set up situations where you could KO a baby Pokemon and they couldn't retreat. So this is kind of a fun card, and I think it's pretty cool. We have the Sunkern and Sunflora. We kind of saw this previously. Sunflora is the 30 damage, but you are able to do 60 damage if Quick Grow Extract is in your discard pile. It's a stage 1, so you could use Quick Grow Extract right into Sunflora, deal some damage. Then we have some pack filler. Burmy, 2 colorless for 30 with 60 HP. Mothim, 3 colorless for 70 with 100 HP. These don't seem particularly good. We have the new Charizard. It's 2 energy for 40, which isn't amazing, but it does 2-shot Oricorio, which is kind of nice, and it one-shots babies, obviously, and you don't lose any energy like you would with the 30 damage Charizard. We have Charmeleon. This card's insanely good. Like, these stage 1s are so good. Ignition, allowing you to take fire energy from your energy zone and put it to your active Pokemon. It's so good. I mean, yeah, Char is awesome. This line is incredible. I love it. We have the base Charizard here. 4 energy to do 150 with Inferno Rush. Not amazing, but you could find space in your deck for it if you have 1 Charizard, 1 Mega Charizard. And then, of course, we've talked about this a lot already. Mega Charizard Y. 250 damage with Crimson Dive. It is crazy good. This card is insanely powerful. It will definitely be a threat in the meta. I don't know what from this set will be the most meta thing, but I do think there's an argument that Charizard is in that running, right? Anything that threatens every Mega in the game with a single hit is incredibly good. Next, we have Houndour with Roar, allowing you to switch your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench, and they choose a new active Pokemon for a colorless. And then Houndoom, 1 fire energy, 50 damage with Sharp Fang. These are fine. There's like a version of this for each of the 3 types, right? Grass and fire, or grass and water, I want to say. Or is it just water, now that I'm thinking of it? I think it's just water has another one. They have a version of this. Let's see. Squirtle, 40 damage. Tail Whap, kind of similar to Charizard, right? Or Charmander, I should say. Now we have Wartortle. Wartortle, out of the 3, seems like the weakest stage 1, even though it has a really cool ability. Also, I would say Blastoise seems like the weakest of the Mega Kanto starters, right? So Wartortle, 3 energy to do 60, not too bad. ability Shell Shield, as long as this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks, which is extremely important. So that means that Greninja doesn't count, right? Greninja will still chip at this Pokemon, so the most common way to get your bench sniped is Greninja, and Wartortle does not prevent that, which I feel like if this was on your bench and it prevented all damage done, just generally, like no bench damage to this Pokemon, this could actually be a crazy, crazy good card. As of right now, it's okay. We've got base Blastoise that does 90 damage, and if you have another 2 energy on it, you're doing 50 to the bench, as well as Mega Blastoise. If you have 3 additional water, so 6 total energy, you do 50 damage to 2 bench Pokemon, as well as 130 in the active. It just feels really slow, unfortunately. I think there are going to be some cool decks with it, but it does feel like the worst of the 3 Kanto starters, in my opinion. Yeah, I felt like Venusaur and Charizard were feeling stronger. Again, early impressions, right? Basculin here, Surprise Strike. I actually think this card's pretty cool. You move it into the active spot from the bench. It does 80 damage for 2 energy. Not too bad, and you could set up big plays with, a Mantike and things like that. So Basculin, kind of a cool card. Clauncher, 20 damage with Water Gun, 60 HP as a basic. Into Clawitzer, we've got 20 damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon. We've seen cards like this before, like Spiritomb, Lurantis kind of things obviously come to mind. They've never been super meta, but I do think the cards are quite fun. So, what are you going to do? There's not going to be every card being meta. New Magnemite seems great. 1 energy for 30 on this Magnemite line is really, really good, right? Because this now one-shots baby Pokemon, which is incredible. Of course, there's a few different things with Magnezone in this set. We have the new Magneton. 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, as well as 20 in the active. I don't think it's going to replace the old Magneton in most decks, but this isn't terrible for a single energy, right? Especially considering you're moving into Magnezone. New Magnezone, Mirror Shot for 90. During your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to attack, they flip a coin. If it's tails, it doesn't happen. So you have that, unfortunate situation for your opponents where they try to KO you. They could even try to hit you with Mega Charizard, whatever it is. It might not matter. It might do absolutely nothing while you're doing 90 damage. And unlike the other Magnezone that we've had before, you're not discarding energy. Plus a nice HP pool of 150. We could definitely see some decks with this new Magnezone, especially with some of the support cards that are coming. Emolga, 2 energy for 50 damage with Mach Bolt. I love the name Mach Bolt. This card is fine. We've got, I never know how to say this, Helioptile, I can't do it. Thundershock, 10 damage, you flip a coin and they're paralyzed, but the real reason you would be playing this, of course, is going to be Heliolisk. 120 damage for only 2 energy. You do discard all energy from this Pokemon, but this one-shot Suicune, so if Suicune Greninja is still a big meta threat, this is a pretty good card into it. And in general, this is just a solid amount of damage into a lot of decks for a single point, right? Heading into Psychic, we have the new Misdreavus. For 1 Psychic energy, if this is in the active spot, you can put a supporter card from your deck into your hand. Kind of cool. Mismagius, stored power, hits for 60, and then all Psychic energy is moved from this Pokemon to a benched Pokemon. There are some combinations we were playing with this last night that I thought were really fun. It's probably not the best, but it is a fun card to move into the Reuniclus line, right? So you have Colossus, 40 HP, 20 damage for 1, not impressive. 70 HP on Duosion. Psyshot for 50, not super impressive. But the cool thing is the Reuniclus card. This card is so fun. It's 90 HP base, but for every single psychic energy you have on it, you gain 30 HP. You could make this thing like we were playing this with Gardevoir, we were playing this with Mismagius. I think this is cheese, but it's super fun cheese. This is a really fun card. You're going to be able to make some really cool decks with it. I'm fully on board with it. Spritzy, heal 20 damage from one of your Pokemon for 1 energy. It's terrible. But it is what it is. And Aromatisse Perfume Blast, 2 energy for 60. Not amazing, but not the worst. 100 HP, and the attacks used by your opponent next turn cost 1 more. So, you know, kind of like a Stoutland or something like that. The only problem with a card like this is if there's any type of retreat or anything going on, you don't get any value from that, really. So it's kind of bad. Xerneas, 120 HP, 3 energy for Geo Burst, and the attack's damage is reduced by the amount of damage on this Pokemon. So if they don't do any damage to you, and you KO something, and they can't really do much to you the following turn, you get another Geo Boost for 100, Geo Burst, excuse me, for 120. Not a terrible card. It's cool that it's a basic, 120 HP for a basic, not too bad. The retreat cost is a little annoying, so if you start with it, you might not be able to get anything done with it. That would be the unfortunate part about this card. New Onix, because we have Mega Steelix in this set. Onix, 3 colorless to do 30 with Dig, and then you flip a coin, and you can prevent all damage done to this Pokemon. We then have Makuhita, 40 damage for 2 energy with Strength. This feels like pack filler. Hariyama, of course, we have like the combination of Hariyama in the last set, right? 3 energy for Megaton Slap Push. I don't know. Bad. Seems bad. Nose Pass, 1 energy for Rising Lunge. You flip a coin, 20 more damage on a heads with 70 HP as a basic. Then we have Mega Lopunny. So we're kind of like bouncing around here, obviously, because Baneri is a normal type, colorless type. Mega Lopunny EX, 190 HP. 2 energy to do 90 damage for each coin you flip heads on, flipping 2 coins. And your opponent's active Pokemon is confused. So there is some cool stuff about this. And on some good coin flips, you're doing pretty solid damage. It seems bad just in general. Like, it's only got 190 HP. And it's not KOing another Mega really in one shot, but you know, it could have some fun results. It seems kind of bad. Mindfu, chop for 30, 50 HP into Mind Show, 90 HP, low sweep for 50. That's what it was. It was the fighting set here. So, you know, these are fine. I mean, chop does allow you to KO a baby, which is nice. Grimer, Sludge Bomb, 40 damage for 2 dark, into Muck, 130 HP, 70 damage for 3 dark, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Feels like pack filler to me. Doesn't feel very good. So yeah. Purloin, so this is like an interesting line here. 60 HP, trip over, you flip a coin, you could do 40 damage with it, right? And then you have Liepard. Liepard, 90 HP, 1 energy to do 60. Your opponent reveals a random card from their hand and shuffles it into their deck. So you disrupt their hand, and then you shuffle this Pokemon into your deck. I mean, I guess. I don't even know what to make of it. It's funny. Trubbish, 70 HP, 30 damage for 2 energy withdrawal. Pretty bad. And then Garbodor, 130 HP, Acid Spray. Flip a coin. If heads, discard a random energy from your opponent's Pokemon. I mean, you're going to invest 3 dark energy, essentially, onto this card to do 70 damage and maybe remove an energy. No. Steelix, that was a no from me, by the way. Steelix is a pretty cool card. So 150 HP. Metal Defender, 100 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon has no weaknesses. But the real exciting part, of course, is Mega Steelix. Mega Steelix has 220 HP as a stage 1. It does require 2 metal, but 2 colorless. So you can make some Brock plays with Onix to power this thing up a little quicker. 120 damage, little underwhelming. But it has no weaknesses after it does that. And of course, you can pair this with, you know, a decent amount of other cards from like the metal category that could power it up. I don't think Mega Steelix and Lopunny are it by any means, but I am excited to build some decks with them for sure. New Probo Pass, 2 energy for Metallic Turbo, and take 2 energy from your energy zone and attach it to a benched. obvious synergy right there with Mega Steelix, and 2 energy to generate 2 energy on a non-EX, because we obviously have Dialga that does this, right? But this is a non-EX Pokemon that is able to not only do some damage, but also generate as much energy as you put on it for the attack. That's pretty solid for a non-EX. Genesect, 110, Metal Blast for 3 Colorless, doing 20 more damage for each metal energy attached to this Pokemon. Again, we see a synergy there, but it seems kind of bad, I'll say. Ditto. I've already seen some cool tech around Ditto, and I can't wait to see other ways the community comes up with making this card really shine. Copy a Friend is really fun. You can copy a bench Pokemon attack. One of them that happened to us last night that was hilarious, our opponent used Ditto and copied a benched Celebi attack to, because it can't be EX, but it's the base Celebi, to have my Mega Charizard transform back into Charmeleon. So I thought that was really fun. Really cool combination. I'm excited to see decks with that. New Porygon. Stiffen will allow you to take minus 20 from attacks, 60 HP. Porygon 2, speed attack for 40. Boo. And Porygon Z, Cyber Jack. 20 damage for each trainer card in your opponent's deck. This could end up being really cool and really not cool. And I mean, I'm always here for wild stuff. So let's see what happens because of it. Starly, Call for Family, put a Starly from your deck onto your bench into Staravia, 80 HP for a quick attack. If heads, it does 30 more damage. And then we have Staraptor with Hurricane Wing, flipping 4 coins, 50 for each head. So, you know, there are always cards like this. Obviously, this is a, you know, on average, it's going to do 100 damage, right? You're 50-50ing 4 coins. There are times it does nothing. There are times it does 50. There are times it does 150. The problem with an attack like this is without any level of consistency, you can't really get a lot of value out of it. But it's not an EX, so that part about it is pretty cool. Here's the Bunnery. Double Kick for 20, flipping 2 coins. You could KO a baby with this. Again, you could get nothing, but, you know, Lopunny also dealing with coin flips. Here is just the base Lopunny here, flipping 2 coins, 50 for each heads with Colorless, right? We have Bouffalant. Bouffalant, 100 HP. 2 Colorless to do Revenge, so it's got like the Marshadow attack. If a Pokemon was knocked out by anything last turn, this does 40 more damage, so you're coming in, swinging for 80. 100 HP is a basic. The retreat cost is a little bit of a bummer, though. If you pull that early, that would be unfortunate. Furfrou, this is actually kind of good. 70 HP, a single Colorless to do 30, and you take minus 20 from attacks. This is, I mean, you could easily slot this into a ton of decks. It deals with baby Pokemon super easily. It starts getting you points. It only is going to take 30 damage from an enemy Oricorio. So you're going to be able to like chip at Oricorio for a while. Unfortunately, the 30 isn't great into Ori, right? It's going to take you 3 turns to KO it, but actually not a bad card. It's probably the best Furfrou we have, right? Into our trainer cards. Clement's Backpack allows you to pull Magneton, Heliolisk. This is Clement's Backpack. I was jumping ahead. Clement's Backpack allows Magneton or Heliolisk to do plus 20 damage. So, unfortunately, it's not Magnezone for old Magnezone decks, but you can make plays with Magneton. However, this allows Heliolisk to hit for 140 on anything, which is pretty dang strong. And we have a card that synergizes with this, right? Which we'll get to here in a minute. I'll talk about it right now, and we'll bounce back to Quick Grow Extract. Clement, 2 random cards from among Magneton, Heliolisk, and your backpack from your deck into your hand. It is Professor's Research, but it is targeted. It's insanely good. You would definitely run one of these in a Magnezone deck for sure. But you could come up with a lot of good decks. Like any card that is basically guaranteeing 2 cards from your deck, especially 2 cards that you could really use. Like Magneton is so unbelievably good getting that stage 1. So this could be a really great card. That's a great supporter. Back onto Quick Grow Extract really quick. This card's insanely good. Choosing a grass Pokemon, putting it on it, it evolves. So you go from Bulbasaur to Ivysaur. You do not skip from Bulbasaur to Mega Venusaur or anything like that. But, of course, with how Ivysaur works, with how multiple grass Pokemon work in this set, this is just so good, dude. Like, getting Bulbasaur in the active spot, right? Turn 1, and then turn 3, Quick Grow, Extract, Ivysaur, and then you generate an insane amount of energy. Like, what a combination. Such a good card. Serena, we were playing around with this a little bit last night. It's a guaranteed pull a Mega from your hand. If you pull this card, like more than halfway through the game, it's mostly a brick, unfortunately, which I think is the tough thing about this card. Like, there were times where, of course, I wish I had it. I wish I had a Mega. There were other times where I had my Mega, and this card essentially turns into absolutely nothing. If you only have one of your Megas and you just play this card, it could thin like a card out of your hand in that moment, and it could thin a card out of your deck, so it's easier to draw something coming up, right? But overall, I think this one might be a little mid. However, there are probably a ton of Mega decks that will at least slot one of them in. We have a ton of art that I can go through right here. So I'm going to spoil some things for you right now. If you're not interested in art spoilers, please move on from this video. I talked about a lot of the cards that are big in this set. I think the stage ones are amazing. I think some of the supporters and trainers are really cool. Now on to some of the cool art. Ariados. We pulled a lot of these last night. That one looks pretty sick. Sunflora. Also a pretty one. You have Reuniclus. We pulled a ton of these guys last night. I love it, man. This deck is so cheesy. It's so fun. Xerneas. Looking pretty beautiful. Trubbish. A gorgeous little gentleman right there. We have the 1-star Bunnery, which is a really cute looking card. And now we're moving on to our 2 stars. Mega Venusaur. The megas of these look so cool, man. Mega Char looks great. The Immersive looks great, too. I got a video of that up on the channel. Mega Blastoise looking pretty awesome. Mega Lopunny right here. We've also got the Mega Steelix. We pulled this last night. I love the effect when the shadow image kind of pops out of them on the card. I think it's so cool looking. We've got the 2-star Clement as well as the 2-star Serena. We've got some 2-star of the rainbow rares. Venusaur. Looking pretty powerful. These look so good. Look at the Blastoise, dude. Oh! Oh! So good. I'm just a huge Blastoise fan, though. So, Mega Lopunny. Got kind of a little bit of the Tinkaton vibes that we saw before. That one looks pretty sick. We also pulled this, full art Mega Steelix. We got 2-star Steelixes last night, which was really cool. And then, of course, the Immersive. Mega Charizard YEX. I'll look through these shinies real quick here. The Vileplume line. We have Charizard. We've got Shelder, Sandshrew, Sandslash. We have Silvally and Type Null. We have Buzzwole, Lunala, Guzzlord, Solgaleo, and our Crown Rares. Aegislash from Mega Rising. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, the biggest head scratcher of the whole set for me. And then Quick Grow Extract. This is an extremely good card, and it feels like one of the ones that could have been the crown rare. I do not understand Aegislash, but there we are. All of the cards from our new set, Crimson Blaze. Let me know what you think in the comments. What are you really excited about? What can you not wait to build a deck with? Thank you all. I love you. I'll see you soon. Tons of videos coming out on the new set, and we'll be live every day. Hope to see you there. We did it.